Happy Saturday morning, everybody. For the first time in 365 days, it's raining. Man, we've been through one of the biggest droughts in St. Louis history. As you can see, there's a truck and trailer. We got home last night from Lincoln, Illinois. Hey, Wallace, who's we? Is there a mouse in your pocket? I had Roy with me, but Kenny Schrader and Joey Walsh asked if they could take Roy from me because they're racing tonight up there at Hawkeye Downs in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I said, hell yeah. And Roy was excited to go with them. So we just ran one night at Lincoln. As you can tell, they canceled tonight. Too much rain. Okay, everybody. I had a good night of racing. We set quick time in our group. There was 34 cars. We won our heat. We finished fourth, had a hell of a race. Time to clean myself up and shave. Look at that. Got like a little mustache right there. You know why that is? Because I went to the dermatologist well over a year ago and I had my face lasered. Got rid of all those sunspots. Well, when they did that, they put this gel around my lips. You ladies know what I'm talking about. So the hair won't grow all the way down. No, they did it here. So it kills the hair right in this area, but the hair still grows more in that area. Who thought I would go there? But I know people study me. They really do, swear to God. I know I sound like an ass, and I am an ass, but. Okay, subject of the day. Why do people make a big deal about the crowds more than ever at every single racetrack across America? I mean, we'll be running at Eldora. And Eldora, you know, a great dirt track, always has a good crowd. But I mean, even dirt tracks. Eldora, look, sold out. Look, good crowd. Come here to Peevely, our local track. That was a good crowd tonight. Good crowd. And I haven't seen a crowd like that in a long time. Talladega, this weekend. Man, look at the motorhomes. That was the longest line for motorhomes I've seen in ages. The motorhomes were in line all the way out to the interstate. It doesn't matter what racetrack. My point is this, everybody. Everybody makes a big deal about the crowds everywhere, not just NASCAR, dirt tracks, local tracks, you name it, asphalt tracks. So the question is this, why does everybody make a big deal about crowds nowadays? Here's the answer. Because racing has been dying a slow death. Now, I have talked about this subject, and people responded. I said, look, it's hard to admit, but racing is lesser nowadays. I have more people that agree with me than don't. The people that are mature and they're thoughtful and they don't want to fight, they're like, you know, you're right, Herm. And I think the reason racing is lesser nowadays is because the passenger car is hard for kids to work on it. The car culture, I'm going to say that again because that was a big one. The car culture. In other words, cars. You know, you just can't work on them like you used to. That you'd have, you know, back in my day, you'd say to your buddy, hey, come on over, man, we're going to change the oil. And that was a big deal. Nowadays, when you change the oil, you got to take the left front tire off, the oil filters up and it's just ridiculous. You used to be able to crawl up underneath that small block and, you know, just literally undo the oil filter, all the oil drain out, put a new oil filter on, you know, put the oil in. Of course, I fill the oil filter up with oil because I like to prime my system. You ain't getting my ass. You ain't getting my ass. So, why do we make such a big deal out of crowds nowadays? because people are in fear that racing is dying. And it is for the most part. It is. You just got to admit it and then move on. That's why all the time I say, you'll never see 4 million viewers watching a NASCAR race again. And boy, I'll tell you what, that lit you people up. You know, even the people that hate NASCAR, I say, you're not going to see 4 million viewers every single week ever again. And the people that even hate NASCAR, they were shocked that I said what they say, so they did reverse psychology on me. They go, yes, we will. It's just all NASCAR's fault. They're not doing it right. They'll get 4 million if they want to, but they're bad. I'm like, no. The car culture is dying a slow death. So the reason everybody makes a big deal about the grandstands nowadays is they know that racing is a lot lesser than it used to be. Now, here's my disclaimer, and I'll end like this. You're going to have your few races. You're going to have Eldora, Knoxville. You know, you're going to have the Daytona 500. You're going to have a race here or there, Vermont, the Widowmaker. You're going to have some good crowds. But remember, when you brag on that crowd, there's 5,000 people there. You know, so that's why people are always talking about crowds. For all of you people that sit at home on your couch and go, look, there's nobody in the grandstands. That's because you realize racing is dying a slow death. It's up to all of us to go to these races, watch it on TV, and save racing. Now, to me, racing's never going to die. It's just going to be lesser. So let's enjoy what we got here. And yeah. Okay, respond right here, everybody. Listen, the last 30 seconds here. Coffee cups are available November 8th. Right up there. Kim's Craft Show going to be up there. November 8th, 9 a.m. till whenever. I race November 7th and November 8th right here at Peevely. Last race weekend of the year for me. I'm done racing after November 7th and 8th. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm done. November 8th, the coffee mugs will be for sale. I think they're going to be $12. And T-shirts, got some badass T-shirts, look just like that. They're going to be $25. Now, we're getting our online store set up on Shopify right now. Kim's going to take over the souvenir industry right in the basement. I said, have fun, baby. Have at it. All right. So that will be after November 8th. We'll be selling stuff online. I love you all. Respond right here.